Deerfield. Where's Deerfield Beach again, Big Naz?
Deerfield Beach. Is that near the Panhandle?
I don't know. I think it's down south.
Is it down south?
Yep.
Maybe I'm thinking of Deer Park.
Deerfield Beach, man. That's where Mike is.
Oh, he's in Florida now.
Oh, yeah. He's down south. He's down south.
Oh,
Yeah, he's been here. He's been here for since day one, Phil.
I thought he was in Arizona at one point.
Not that I remember. I remember him always being in Florida, down south.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yep, he's down south.
Oh, okay.
So,
what's going on, JP? How's it going, brother?
Yeah, it was a rough weekend, doing all those podcasts for Germany.
How'd those go?
The good thing about this one is, that the shows are fast, so you don't have to kind of know 45 names in each class.
Right.
So in that regard, it was good, but there was for me, it's very confusing, Then when I watched the finale by myself, and I just would not listen to anybody. I just would watch what I see. I mean, I understand it's never like being there, but the quality of the HD, the stream was pretty good. Would I just watch it by myself and then come here and talk about it? It would be a total different talk than listening to all the experts, non-experts, trainer, coaches, and it started. The opinions are wide, stretched. They're apart from each other. And, it's, for example, John was on live with, I think, Palombo. And right after the show, they had Chris Acedo joining in. Are you guys still there?
Yeah. Yep. I think your Wi-Fi is off because you keep freezing up.
Yeah, he's frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's frozen again. Mike's trying to log in here.
Trying? I thought I was here.
Okay. We got your name. We don't see you.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, there you are.
Hey, Mike.
There he is.
Hello,
there's
everyone.
There's the man.
Oh man, I see a familiar face. A lot of familiar faces.
Yeah. Let's see if you can see if you can name who they are. Well, it's too late. Their names are on there now. So
yeah, but I definitely see Phil Williams in his little beanie there right off the bat the moment I got on. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
All right.
Did you guys ever compete together?
No.
No, he was in front of me.
Mike, we never met, right?
That's true. I don't remember if we met.
I don't think so. I was in New York when you were in the Night of the Champions, the year Gary Stridham won, and you took second to him. I think that was 87, right?
Yeah.
I was there watching the show, but we never met.
All I know is you're a bad man. That's all I know.
Oh, well, thank you. Same to you, my friend. Same to
Thank you.
Much respect. Much respect.
Both ways.
Hey, what's going on there, old buddy?
Oh, look at Stevie. Oh, man. I didn't even see that you were there, man.
You didn't even look at me over here. I know, because I was always the shortest guy, Mike. Thanks, man.
Hey, man, you're a stick of dynamite. How about that?
Oh, man.
Steve's the original giant killer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mike, that happened when we were in Japan. That's when we first met, man. That's when the
That's right.
killer thing came out.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That's
how's everybody doing?
Good, brother, man. Looks like you're doing pretty damn well.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, you're looking well, man. You're looking good.
Yeah, thankful. One day at a time. Yes.
Yeah, we've been seeing you on TV a lot lately, and you've been doing a lot of guest appearances on stage.
You're talking about at the Arnold.
At the Arnold, and I saw you before that. You were on at the Olympia, I think. Were you at the Olympia on stage? Yeah. JP, you good to go?
Yes. Sorry, I lost you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look who! Oh man, man, more faces from the old days.
Yeah, so nice. Yes. I don't think we ever even talked. How you doing, Mike?
Very good. I don't have to talk to you to know that you're a bad man too.
Yeah, it's been a while, but it must be nice to be in that winner's circle of the Arnold Classic. That's just unbelievable.
Oh, hell
Thank
yeah.
you. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this, Mike. They brought you guys all on stage. Did they forget to call Kai Green?
No. Kai Green was there.
Okay.
What happened is they'll give you a time to show up. And these guys,
Okay.
I will tell you, they give us a packet. And they're very organized. I'll give that to them. When I arrived, they had a packet. They tell me to be at certain places at certain times. And I just show up when they ask me. Unfortunately, some of the guys didn't.
Okay.
I see.
I see. So he was supposed to be up on stage with you guys, but he just didn't show up on time.
Yeah, he was there for the seminar.
Okay.
And I think, yeah, he was there that night also.
Yeah, because for some reason when they called the names, and then I don't know if you guys saw, but Fuad or Dennis said, "Well, hey, I think Kai just walked out as they were cutting the camera off." It's like
Yeah,
I think
he
Bob didn't call him though. So I was wondering where he was at.
Yeah, because he was there also. Yeah.
Yeah. Huh, funny. So, so what do you think, Mike?
Mike, let me ask you. So,
Go ahead, JB.
Mike, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'm waiting for you to.
Okay, so I was starting before, but then I unfortunately lost my Wi-Fi. So I was commenting for a German channel, doing it live, and I was just saying before you came on, when I watched it by myself, I saw it a certain way, but then you start listening to a lot of different opinions and a lot of different trainers and people who were there, and it kind of started confusing me a little bit. So you had probably a front row seat. Give me your take, the top 5.
I can break it down for you. I'm going to say a couple of things. I don't know. One of the things is sometimes people don't want to say it like it is. They're worried about, ruffling feathers and everything like that. The way I saw it, a lot of people, they were saying Nick should have won the show. And, if we're going to speak about bodybuilding, and from the era I know, you have to have the basic structure first. No disrespect to Nick, he's a great athlete. He was in very good shape, but that X-frame was not there. He has a very long upper torso. His lower extremity was pretty short, and then he lost even more weight on his lower extremity from the Olympia to the Arnold. So I didn't see him as the winner. The top 3, the way I actually in some ways would have had Andrew Jack beat Nick, based on how I was seeing it.
I've been hearing that a lot.
I gotta say,
I said I've been hearing that a lot.
Yeah. Andrew Jack was in very good shape, but one of the things that I've noticed that has been less talked about is symmetry, the structure. Steve earlier was talking about himself being short. Steve, as a short man, had great symmetry. A tall, you could say like Ronnie Coleman, he had very good symmetry. So it doesn't matter what height you are, symmetry is symmetry. And if you have a long or a tall upper extremity and a shorter lower extremity, so the symmetry is not there. And no disrespect to that individual, regardless in bodybuilding, he's going to have a challenge against a more symmetrical person that's well developed. Yeah. So, that's where I saw the challenge with Nick. I thought Ramy was a bit overlooked, and a lot of people are going to say why I say that. I just lost you guys.
You're good. I'm just putting a picture up.
Okay. So one of the things is at the Olympia, they were talking about Ramy's, but they were comparing Ramy to how Ramy looked the previous year. And I said one thing, I said, I don't care what you look like the year before or whatever, judge the person based on their current condition for the current event. You know, Samson Dauda was more symmetrical. And even though he was not as hard as Nick, because sometimes the hardest guy doesn't have to win the show. You have to more or less take all that and this is my perspective looking at it. Someone else might totally look at it different, but I thought Samson Dauda deserved to win it. From the prejudging, I said this guy should win the show. And there were a number of people saying, oh, well, they're saying this, they're saying that. And I'm saying, let's just eliminate the popularity, because Nick is very popular. And no disrespect to him, but now we're talking bodybuilding. I could not see Nick beat Samson in the condition that Samson was. He is hard. I basically said, this is the way I called it. I said, yes, Samson should have won. Andrew Jack should have been second. Nick should have been third. Now, Nick, I would give him the most muscular like he got. And people are saying, well, how could he win the most muscular and not win the show? Of course it can happen. Yeah. Now, at the same time, and Andrew Jack, best poser. I would accept it going that way. So that's kind of how I saw it. And I'm telling you, like you said, I had very good seats. But what is happening is people are now basing, like you listen to the audience and they yell for Nick, so all of a sudden Nick's supposed to be automatically the guy to win. No. And that's basically my perspective on it. I'm just speaking bodybuilding. I admire Nick. I think he's a very hard worker. Nick reminded me more of Rich Gaspari. Rich Gaspari was badass. He worked his ass off. But if Lee Labrada and Lee Haney are in shape, Rich Gaspari can't beat either one of them. And that's basically just speaking bodybuilding. So, you know, I maybe in a lengthy way, I gave you my perspective, but that's basically how I saw it. Ramy was where he was. And I got to tell you, if they, you know, they were saying, well, Ramy probably should, people were talking back and forth about Ramy and not being in the top 5 or are getting 5th. And as much as Ramy has all that muscle for some reason, Ramy actually looked better than he did at the Olympia. I think most people, they were like, well, Ramy looked like this in 2000 and this. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear how Ramy looks in comparison to the guys he's competing against. Yeah. And we oftentimes do that. And it's wrong. I don't care what he looked like a month ago. I care what he looks like today, because today is the competition. How does he look in comparison to the other guys? And even at the night show, he got better. So yes, if they're comparing Ramy to Ramy in the past, I would say, yes, I've seen him better. But if you're comparing Ramy to Ramy that day, he did bring a better package than he even did at the Olympia.
Interesting.
Well, let me jump in here. So usually I'm kind of always in the opinion that judging is very easy. I didn't feel that this way. This time after the pre-judging, I saw it very, very close, and I thought whoever is going to be best in the finale will win. It didn't turn out to be, when you look at the scorecard later on that way, it looks like Samson won with a perfect score. I don't quite understand that part, although I had him winning too. Nick, this time at the Olympia, I had a very good seat. This time I watched it from home. Nick, this time the discrepancy between lower and upper body bothered me in some reason more than at the Olympia. I don't know if he downsized, like you said, the legs a little bit.
Yeah, his X-frame was gone. It was his lower body. He sacrificed a lot on his lower extremity. Yeah.
And Andrew, it always still feels like for the big body he is still a few pounds missing to win a show like this, but I would be okay him being on second. Ramy, quite shocked when he walked out. He was really, really good, and yeah, there is some issues there, but I wouldn't mind to have him more compared with Nick fighting for the 3rd spot. That would be totally fine with me, but 4th is probably okay. Now when it comes to Samson, I mean, it's just kind of sad. Pound per pound is the best bodybuilder. is about as good as he can do, but you know, this is kind of what it is. You know, it's kind of sad. But I didn't see a better bodybuilder in the last 3 years, pound per pound, than not Samson, sorry, than the little guy, the Olympia guy, the 212 Olympia champion. Clarida, sorry. Yeah, I mean, the guy, everything's absolutely perfect on the guy. It's just, you know, it's just a different level here when it comes to the comparisons. That's why fifth is as good as he can do. But I had some Samson winning, like I said, but not with a perfect score.
Yeah, well, the way I look at it, and in terms of what defines a perfect score, you're saying now all the judges, so all the judges scored him in first place. You're saying someone should have not scored him in first place?
Yeah, I think so, or at least not with 5 points. You know, in the prejudging, I felt like his back was pretty soft. He was pretty soft from the front as well. Maybe it's the stream. You know, maybe I just can't see the hardness when I'm not there. That's possible.
Yeah, yeah. If you see different streams, like one of the time I see someone, they post a picture of Nick and Samson, and Samson is not completely in the pose, and Nick is you can't really do that. You got to look at them side by side on stage. And I will tell you, a lot of the streams that I see did not do justice to how they look. Well, are they as hard as the guys in their early 90s? The guys, I say they are bigger, but not necessarily as peeled. But these guys were in really good shape. I'm not taking anything away from them. But you have to see it straight on to really make some of the determination, because when I see some of the different streams, that it depends on where they are, how's the lighting, they didn't really capture what I saw on stage. Like Ramy,
I know.
Even Ramy surprised, he improved a lot. And some people didn't even see that. You know, they were talking, because if you're looking from the live stream, you're not going to see, but he really improved. And, you know, I'm not like a jumping over Ramy fan, or I'm just talking bodybuilding. I was actually impressed with how much he improved from the Olympia to the Arnold.
You know, I know I have to be very careful with the live stream, because I felt like in the wellness category, I'm a big fan of wellness. I felt like they're all not in shape. And then I saw online a picture posted, Milos took from the first row, and I realized, no, they look all just fine. So I'm totally aware of what you're saying.
Yeah, that girl that won, I was in the second row. I was sitting behind the judges. Right. I said, I didn't know her from Adam. I'm like, this girl is smoking, and I don't know her. And she ended up really, really winning it.
Well, I mean, before we get to that, I did not have her winning, but let's stay with the open. What do you guys think about 6, 7, 8? I mean, I felt like Akeem was really good. His best since he played 6th at the Olympia. What do you guys think about Bonac and Patrick?
And this is, well, I keep talking. Let someone else talk. I mean, I don't.
Well, you know, you guys. Well, you brought up a good issue, Mike, because we look at things online and it's such a different view. Right. But I think these guys will remember several weeks ago, I claimed that, look, Samson Dauda is looking pretty damn good, man. I think he's going to take it. But, you know, it's nice that he did. But it's hard to see some of this stuff online, because you look at that stuff and you're like, wow, this is fantastic. You can tell Samson had it there. But you're right. There's things that you can miss. Yeah. And this can take it away from what people are looking at it. And even if you're sitting all the way back in the audience, for example, we've been there before. We know how that is, man.
You can't see the real deal.
Can't see.
Yeah. So my thing is, unless I'm looking at it straight on, one of my big issues when I go to shows, I said, if I don't have a good seat, I don't have a voice, because I'm really not seeing what I think I'm seeing. I'm gonna have to say, from where I sit, this is, or where I sat, this is how I see it. But I'm telling you, when you get up close, you were like, wait a second here. Yeah. You know, so that is kind of one of the things we have to take into consideration. Because it depends on the oil on one person compared to the other, how it looks on a live stream compared to when you see them live. Like
Yeah.
Samson in the pre-judging, he needed a little bit more oil. I will say that.
Mhm.
You know, little things like that. But you can definitely, I'm not saying he was sliced, but he was in, if you say the overall package, and which is what really should win a show, you know, if he has the structure, to me, that's always important. If he has the structure, if he's in great shape, yeah, you're gonna have that one guy that has a freaky body part or two better than him. Like, you know, like for example, you look at Andrew Jack in the front abdominal pose, and he basically just cleaned the house. So you gotta, but then you look at the entire package, and it could be from my perspective. It doesn't mean I'm right. That's why we have 7 judges, you know, because so the one concern that Gina had about, you know, Jean had about, hey, you know, we had 7 judges. How does he get a perfect score? There is something to be said for that too.
Yeah. So would you think Samson in this shape would have placed 2nd or 3rd for sure at the Olympia?
No.
Why not?
Well, the thing about, look at the two, look, I'm just going to look at the top 2 guys in the Olympia and say, you know, because they don't have a symmetry issue to the extent of like Nick did in this show, wherein Nick got beaten by Samson.
No, I mean Samson in this shape at the last Olympia.
Yeah, but I'm saying Adi was also in very good shape, and so was Dennis.
Yeah, I mean, I have no doubt that Hardy would have beaten Samson in this shape, but I think Samson could have been 3rd, at least 4th at the Olympia in this shape.
Yeah, that's a strong possibility. And the only reason why I don't want to say it's like we're looking at 2 individuals apart from one another. You know, sometimes when you take the person and put him next to the other person, you're like, holy Moses, what's going on here? So we're talking about him in a condition in a different show, and it's very, what you're saying is a realistic thought. But my thing would be, I want to see them next to one another to really be able to make that claim.
Yeah.
Let me ask you.
It sure makes you go ahead, Jason.
I just wanted to ask about Patrick. Did he come close to anybody, or do you think he probably should have skipped this show? What do you, Mike? You hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Yeah. I hate to talk about. Yeah, he's a good guy.
What?
I said I don't mean to sound negative about him, because he is a good bodybuilder.
Well, I don't, to be, you know, he had some challenges if you talk about the physique as a whole, especially from the waist down. So, I mean, whether or not he skipped it is the question. It's very hard for me to say that about a competitor, because sometimes when you want to compete and your mindset, you're saying, I'm going to do better. I came back from this injury. I'm able to compete in the Arnold.
Right.
Because who knows what tomorrow holds.
Yeah, that's true. I don't mean skip. I thought maybe like his comeback show, maybe this should have been it. And I don't understand how the invites work fully, but how did he get an invite coming off an injury like that?
I really don't know. That part I don't know. Sorry, honest.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering.
Don't forget, we didn't have 10 people applying. So at first, pretty much anybody before they raised the prize money who applied got a spot. With Patrick, you know, I understand being slightly downsized in the lower body, although I do not exactly remember in his best shape. There was at the California Pro where he won.
Yeah.
I don't quite remember, although I was there, how big his legs were. I was more disappointed this time. Not that the legs are behind still. I understand that. I was more disappointed the quality of his even upper body in general. I expected a little bit more there. I don't know exactly why he came in quite a little bit too big. But we'll see. In the future, I've seen that with myself after the leg injury. We are going to now every time when he walks on stage, stare at those legs immediately to see are the legs back or not. It doesn't matter how they were before or not. That's one of the reasons I knew I have to stop competing after my leg injury, because I built my upper body up pretty quickly again after the injury. But I knew that it will never be the same again, my lower body. Even if it would be decent, they would always, hey, his legs are not that great anymore. So I was just rather retiring from bodybuilding. And I heard also that if we go to the 7th place, which I'm used to be a big fan of. I mean, the guy won the Arnold Classic before, our Dutch friend. He said also he's going to take a longer break now for a whole year.
He's taking the year off.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta tell you,
that's a good idea.
I think they, I don't know if you saw like his delts. I saw someone post about some extremities there that were enhanced. However, whatever means, I'm not gonna. But I'm a guy that like Bonak's physique. If you just, he has a great physique, and Bonak wasn't in bad shape. He was one of those individuals. Because if I had to make a choice between Bonak and Akeem, I would pick Bonak's physique over Akeem just in general. And I could tell my reasons. I mean, Akeem has some really high lats. He's got great quads. Bonak from the back, Akeem, they can both have great double bicep, but there's a better flare in the lats of Bonak over Akeem. I think he got judged based on something more than just his condition, because I saw some highlights. They were like, well, look at his delts, look at his glutes, and again, when I see that, I'm one of these guys that say, hey dudes, do you think he's the only one? Maybe it's the most profound in him. I don't like to point out a man for something like that, but that's a whole different story. But I think it could have gone either way between both of them. That's one of those subjective things based on judges. Because Akeem, that was one of his better conditions that I've seen. And so I'm not taking anything away from him either.
What do you guys think about Ramy? Do you think
I think that.
Do you think he's done seeing first place, or do you think he'll make comebacks?
I think he's done, personally.
Yeah.
Once you've been Mr. Olympia and you drop that low, and you can't win the Arnold, I mean, what's next?
Well, my question is this.
Okay. I'll let you finish, and then I'm going to give you a perspective to look at.
Okay. Well, I want to ask these questions while y'all talk about it.
Yeah.
No, it's time for him to retire.
Yeah. Can somebody stay that big and that lean, and health-wise, where is he at?
Exactly.
And then I'll let you guys.
Another thing.
That's
well, he's the only one who can make that decision and knows that beside his trainers. Now, there's definitely a few positives here. I mean, what the hell happened to those dents in his legs? They must have filled them with fillers. There's just no other way. And then they obviously put a lot of hope into that stem cell. Then over time, he will be back to his old because of stem cells. So I think that the only decision, the only way he can look at should I retire or not is his health. He is the only one who knows that, and is the passion still there? So that's kind of hard for us to see that, But him moving back to one again, looking how young Lunsford is, no, I don't see it. But I really hope I'm wrong.
I don't see it either.
Well, one of the things is, before we start counting out, this is kind of how I look at it. How old is Ramy? I don't know, so I can't make any claims.
I think he's 37 or 38.
Okay, it's 37, 38. So he still has the ability to put muscle on. I would take the focus off the legs and build that upper extremity is being dominated by the lower extremity. So right now, I would say improve his arms, improve his back, and create even a better symmetry within himself. At 37, he can still make some improvements here. I gotta tell you, some of these guys today, and I'm not bashing them, I think Ramy needs to be in an environment. Ramy's a superstar where he is. And my mind tells me, and I could be wrong, so I'm going to say I'll take the beating for that. But if Ramy gets into one of those Branch Warren mentality environment, or Ronnie Coleman environment when he trained for the, Ronnie Coleman left nothing on the table. You look at a guy like Branch Warren, I don't think Ramy's training that hard. So my question is, it's not the body, it's the mind. If he was to get in an environment where, you know, it's like some of these guys where they leave home and they go somewhere else because they just want to go all out. I believe Ramy can make a presentation for himself again, because he's not really that old. And he has a lot of muscle on him. It's just not balanced out appropriately. I'll be more working on the arms and because those legs are overpowering him. So even when he's off, it makes him look worse. So I would say bump up the symmetry and get more hardcore. I mean,
so, but you think about this, Mike, from a guy who used to be Mr. Olympia and to, you know, what happened in the last Olympia, did he have enough time of considering who he is, the superstar that he is, or should he take a year off and not bother with the Arnolds, or was he just too eager to show people that he can do it? You know?
Yeah. And either way, because of the fact that it was so close to the Olympia, I don't think it did him much harm. You know, right now, I would say his body is in a state for some serious recomposition. I mean, he can definitely his body's like a sponge, dry sponge right now. So if he starts eating correctly but ingesting significant surplus of calories, he is in a stage right now that he can put some more muscle on, and he's just got to focus. I mean, you can't spot reduce, but you can spot hypertrophy. So if he says, well, you know something, I'm going to strip down the legs a little bit. I'm going to make myself more symmetrical, and then I'm going to come in hard, because he's not hard. So what is hard?
Yeah, and we've talked about that many times, how the open bodybuilding, the way it is, and there's just a lot of symmetry built, you know, missing. And you know, we come from that era. You know, even JP, when he was at his biggest, man, he still had, you know, I mean, there was obviously taken down to the fact that when you look at the way these guys are, and you know, JP, when you were there, you never really got in your best shape ever. I mean, you never really reached your peak at one time, correct?
You can say that, yeah, maybe with the exception of the Mr. Universe, but then I wasn't that big at that point, yes.
Exactly.
I want to go back to something Mike said, and I couldn't agree more. You know, getting out of your comfort zone, that was something that was missing with me. You know, I felt very comfortable in Switzerland. I was famous in Switzerland, which is pretty easy. It's a very small country. And it would have been very good for me to get out of there and, you know, go to Texas or whatever and train with some other guys instead of being the one guy in my country. Right. On the other side, Ramy did try that, and he did live in Phoenix for a while years ago, and he was very unhappy there. So maybe now it could change, but I talked to Chris Cormier once about training him, and he did train him occasionally over in the Oxygen Gym. And he said he just doesn't push. So is this something?
Hey, let me ask you this.
This can change?
If you have 2 wives and children, right? That's what I believe he has.
He has 2 wives.
How do you put them aside for, let's say, 1 year or 6 months? And
wait, Phil, hang on. Did you say he has 2 wives?
Yes.
2 wives.
Well, in that country, I heard about that, but it's like,
okay, 2 wives and kids. I don't know how many kids, but if you have that, how do you put them aside to focus for 6 months, a year, whatever it takes to make improvements and focus on the show?
I'm going to make you
deal with 1 wife.
Curry does it.
Go ahead, Mike.
Curry does it. Curry has 5 kids and he leaves them for.
I have a simple answer for that. All of that. It depends on how bad you want it. If
Exactly.
you want it bad enough, my point is, there is someone out there that wants it more than Ramy does. And we just got to be realistic and say, when you have some people, the guy that doesn't have the great genetics sometimes train 10 times harder than the guy that does, because he's like, shit, man, I got to get my body in. I got to go up against these guys. I remember when I went to the world, when I was going to the world championships, nothing mattered. I got up, I ate, I trained, I focused on, I wanted that thing so bad. Cheat on my diet, there was no such thing. These
I
people are
remember
talking
that,
about
Mike.
diet breaks, refeed, all of this crap. I basically stuck to my diet because I wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
There was no AC in the gym. I was doing pull-ups. My hands were frozen. I walked to the gym when there were blizzards. That's how bad I wanted it. So my mind is based. I'm saying, get him in the mindset. If he gets in the mindset that, you know, this jungle is going to be mine, he can come back. If he doesn't have that mindset, he's not coming back.
Yeah.
He's not going to win, but I'm not going to say that I can check him out at that young age and still have the ability to die. There's nothing wrong with him.
Well, don't forget
Mike.
now, remember when he won the first Olympia, when Chad Nichols came on and said that they had to take him out of the Middle East because he was losing it. And when they put him with Dennis, he got more focused, and obviously that's when he won the Olympia. Yeah.
Your environment has a lot to do with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mike, what year did you win the Miss Universe, or how did you get your pro card?
1986.
What was your
JP.
competition at the Miss Universe?
You know, I don't remember some of the guys. I mean, okay, you're coming from the United States. You go over there and, you know, you meet all these different people. I can't remember their names. Be quite frank.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Mike, you know, what's funny is that you and I went in the universe in '86.
Right.
And I don't know if you remember your first pro show.
Yeah, Detroit Grand Prix.
I thought it was Toronto.
Detroit Grand Prix was my first, 87.
Okay, so the Toronto one was the couples. Remember that?
Yes. Oh, yeah. We had a great time with
Remember that time there?
With
And then
Maria Serio.
and then we went to New York the week later.
Yes, yes, yes.
And that's the only pros I remember coming out of the universe is because it was you, Ralph Mueller, and myself. I don't remember anybody else.
Right. That's my thing. You're unforgettable, though, Stevie.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate you, man. I always respect you.
Dude, man.
We had some good fun back then.
Killer. This is the guy that created the word giant killer.
We had a lot of fun back then, man.
Yes,
We traveled
yes,
a lot
yes.
too.
Yeah.
Mm.
But one of the things I want to always, I can't count an athlete out as long as there's life and there's the desire to win, there's the possibility to win.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
absolutely true.
So Mike, does that mean you're coming back for Masters Olympia or what?
No. You know, one of the things that you have to do is know when to say it's time to move on. You know?
Mike, when was your last year?
I think, let's see.
Mine was in '92. You remember that?
Yeah. I think my last one was 94. I went to Niagara Falls. I got 5th. And then that's where I said, you know, because guys, I want to tell you how I look at it. As a professional, bodybuilding was not a hobby to me anymore. It was a business. And so for me, if I am not, and you know, I know the controversial stuff was there all along, but I never ever used anabolic steroids, whether people want to believe me or not. And in the 90s, the sport took off in a direction wherein, you know, I couldn't keep up with them, just the reality of it. And for me, if I'm not making money competing, then it no longer becomes a business. It was a hobby. when I just did it out of passion when I started, but once I won the world championship, my head was in a different place. I used to manage my contests like, okay, I'm going to go to this one and I'm going to leave this one. I make this much money over here in Europe on this. I basically looked at it that way. I didn't just compete just to compete.
No, it's a business.
It is. And so what happens is people will say to me when I left, they're like, are you going to come back? I says, no, I love the sport. I'll go and support the other athletes and cheer them on. But I am not going to put on posing trunks just for entertainment.
Yeah.
Mike, let me ask you. I'm 62. How old are you? You have to be around my age, right?
I'm 63.
Okay. That's
1 year older. I'll be 64 in August. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be 63.
Yes.
So yeah. You're around the same time and the same age. You were a year after me.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you this, Mike. I remember Ali Mala was my workout partner.
Ali Mala.
Ali Mala, do you remember him?
I remember Ali very well. Ali Mala was a really nice man. My first time to Venice just to see what it was like. Ali actually took me around and, you know, he was really a nice man. Yeah.
He was my workout partner and he showed me pictures of you before I ever heard of you. He goes, what do you think of this guy? And I looked at him, I said, whoa, who in the hell is this? He goes, this is Mike Ashley. He goes, you look out for this guy. This guy's going to be coming up. And I looked at the photos and I was like, oh shit. Okay. And that had to be back in like 81.
Yeah.
That's history.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had to have been a magazine article. It wasn't the internet.
Well, no, it was just photos. I think you must have sent Ali photos because he showed me pictures of you.
Yeah, I went out to Venice.
Magazine.
Yeah, he actually took shots when I was in Venice. I went out there because, you know, people saying, hey, you know, go to Venice and check it out and get your face out there. Because I tell you, the first time I went to the Nationals, you know, when you have that many guys in there, you know, you can get overlooked.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mm.
And it's quite amazing. You placed top 10 at Olympia on the Arnold Classic, and that's all natural. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if you're the best natural athlete ever lived. I mean, you know, at least close. I mean, that's just an amazing achievement. I can't believe that. You know, that's really great. I really.
Well, you know, Mike, you've been fighting this controversy for years, man, and I've known you since day one. And for me, I mean, your sincerity, integrity from then, I believed you, and I knew it back then. I said, you know, some people would say something. I said, let me tell you something, man. This guy is sincere. This guy is not bullshit.
Well, one of the things I did that no one talks about, I said, okay, I'll put up 10 grand. Anyone that tests me at any time. And I still have one of the articles where I said, if you think you're so bad, get off your stuff and come against me. I still have that from Iron Man, that article. And then I also said, if you don't believe I'm drug-free, I will pay you $10,000 if I fail. Excuse me for that. I will pay you $10,000 if I fail, but if I pass, you're going to pay me 10 grand. No one took me up on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you and Jean Paul Guillaume.
Yeah, I was about to say Paul Jean Guillaume. Yes.
I knew him. I trained with him in Germany.
Yes, and he was another guy that was,
I believe that 100%.
Right.
100. I got to know him 100%.
Yep.
See, we forget that I came from a background where, you know, you can't have the genetics with you, but then I was a powerlifter and a bodybuilder, and I did both. And as a result, I was like, I remember when I went in the Army and I got on the powerlifting team, when I went back home, they were like, dude, what happened to you? Well, you know, I mean, my best squat was 740.
Damn.
Yeah. So, you know,
impressive.
I mean,
Yeah.
with the powerlifting background, and now a lot of bodybuilders are incorporating powerlifting and bodybuilding for a lot. And you think back to Franco Colombo days and Arnold, those guys were lifting some serious loads too.
Yeah.
How do you train today?
Well, put it to you this way. I am more conscientious about my joints now. I still have some segment of heavier training, but not to the extent of that I did, you know, when I was younger.
Of course, yeah. At our age, it's no benefit in training heavy. You have to
Well,
train with intensity, but not
I still
heavy.
want to experience some sort of progressive overload. But remember now, as we get older, we're getting weaker. So there's a leak in the bucket and we're fighting.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And what you do for a living?
I have a personal training gym.
Oh, wow. Now, is your gym in Florida?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, were you living in Arizona at one time?
Yes, I lived in Arizona.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah, I was training in the same gym. Imagine this: me, JJ Marsh, Jimmy Comerford, all of us were in the same gym.
That's right.
We all went to the Ironman together too.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. That's some names I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah.
Back to the Arnold a little bit, Mike. What do you think about classic physique real quick? Placing seem all right to you?
Classic physique, like 1, 2. I posted before they announced the winner. I said Ron Dino is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
I mean, Earth looked good. I'll take nothing away from him. But again, we talk about Ron was in very good shape. And he was a lot rounded than Earth. And, you know, they have kind of different physiques in a sense. You could go one way or the other, but I saw him as the winner.
Yeah, I was hoping for Mike to, you know, have a chance there. I thought Mike has a better chance before the show than Urs to beat Ramon, but Mike just never brings the shape necessary to win, unfortunately. So he plays fourth. But I felt a little bit that Urs, his plus was he had more energy on stage. But other than that, I mean, it was pretty much perfect.
Well, did you see that he was in the hospital a few days before that?
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive to come back and still get second.
Hey, Mike, before we forget this kind of like interesting topic we spoke about before you came on, we were just talking about the whole incident with Sean Ray and Chad Nichols' son.
Yeah.
Big Naz was reading that he thinks it was that everybody's saying it was staged.
No, it wasn't.
Oh no,
there's no way it was staged.
No. It was not staged.
I know, man.
Because I was walking, I was going to the convention center, and Sean told me what happened, and that was not staged.
Wow.
I mean, it's a little. You got to be careful, because I look at it that, you know, we're grown men and we really shouldn't be doing stuff like that, because there are serious consequences. And at the same time, you know, you just got to be careful what you say about others and to what extent.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm here tonight and I make comments about bodybuilders. I'm not trying to offend any of them. I think they're all great athletes, but it's a subjective sport, and I have a right to say, I felt this one looked this way, but
and that's a whole different subject. Exactly.
Yeah.
But it's a total different thing. I don't necessarily say I think it would be my prerogative to go down the road, and you know, you got to be careful with some of the things you say. So I don't think either side is appropriate for right now. You know, so I don't condone either of the extremes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, no, we don't trash talk anybody out here. Like you said, we give our opinion.
It's all opinions, man.
Opinions.
I mean, that's what the thing is all about. Sports. Hey, look, we've all been on stage, man. We've all been told about what was good and what was bad about us. So
yeah.
No, I think it's constructive criticism.
Thank you.
That's it. That's all we have to offer.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that whole incident with Sean and Nichols' son was that. I mean, that's a whole different subject.
Well, maybe that has been building up for years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Kevin Horton, the English writer, wrote about me in the 97 European tour. I looked like I ate only burgers and drank beer. during the whole prep, but I couldn't be mad at him at all because that's exactly how I look like. So it's all good when it's correct. So,
Yeah.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, some people don't even take the truth very well, you know.
Well, yeah.
Well, look, like you said, Mike, look at all the criticism you got about being natural.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I, you know something, I remember one time I was in France and I gave a seminar, and he says, you know, I like your presentation, you're all of this, boom, 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 and then at the end he says, but I don't believe you're natural. And I say, sir, I want to thank you for the compliment, because that
Exactly.
that good that you guys still don't believe that I'm natural.
Yeah.
So you can take the negative and turn it into a positive, you know?
Absolutely. In a way, that's a compliment, in a sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's exactly right. What I do with it. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Exactly. It's a compliment.
Awesome.
I remember
you mentioned
Japan-
shortly, Mike.
Huh?
You mentioned shortly that you watched some of the female categories because I'm very involved in bikini and wellness. So tell me your take on that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you one of the things when I was watching the wellness girls, the women, I don't want to disrespect by saying girls because they're women. I was looking and I was like, how in the world do you judge these women?
Yeah.
Because
It's
I got to
hard.
tell you, a lot of them looked really good. Now, you have to do a process of elimination because, you know, I mean, I actually picked the winner, but I wasn't as convinced as someone with more experience. And, you know, even the bikini women, you know, when you see them, and I don't know their names, like the woman that won, I thought she deserved to win, but depending on, you know, it's so close, you know, it's kind of hard to say one way or the other for me. Yeah, you give me the guys, I'll judge them a lot better than, and I'm sure if I experience judging them over and over, I can be a little bit more meticulous about making the differentiation from one to the next. Now, the fitness girls, for me, that was that was a lot easier for me to judge than, you know, I mean, I did modern dance when I was in high school, and, you know, so I can relate to some presentations and, you know, and their condition too. So if you look at the combination plus the presentation, you know, it's not as difficult.
Yeah. They're the highest paid in the female categories too.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
Fitness.
You see the wellness girls winners only paid 7,000. I have all the winners thing here.
Now, I got a little joke for you. So we were standing here because you saw that I handed her, I was in the awards portion.
Yeah.
So Arnold says to her, so how many days a week do you train and what's your workout like? And she says, I just train my lower body. She was so cute with her response. Yeah. She's mostly focused on her lower extremity. Is basically what she said.
Yeah. Oh.
Funny.
Hey, Phil and Steve, are you guys getting that Master Olympia thing out of your head slowly, or are you still?
Oh, yeah. You know, it was a passing thought. I mean, there's no way I could compete over 40. That would even, if they brought back an over 60, it was just a thought.
It's coming.
But then I'm not going to spend the money. I'm not going to spend the money to travel to Romania and train for a show and do what, I mean, it was just a thought. It just gave me something to train harder for.
You know, when I was busting chops about that, JP, I mean, there's no way in the world I can get ready for a show these days. But, you know, there's one time I thought that my advantage is I haven't competed in 30 years and haven't had that intensity. So maybe there was something there. But knowing that the guy's going to be like 45 and over, there's no way in the world I can
No.
it, man.
No way.
Not at 61, man.
No. No
No
way.
chance.
Yeah, no way.
I'll tell you, but you know what? I'll give you this. JP said it right, though. When all that stuff came up, you know, I had that moment of, really, no, but it was like a slight moment. Hell no, man. I'm too old for that. Masters Olympia. So yeah, I don't. You know what? I gotta ask one question. Why Romania?
Maybe I can tell you why. That might be the only person that's willing to sponsor the show.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Gotta have money in there. Yeah.
That's a long way away, though. Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
been to
man.
that. You know, they have a show every year. I've been to that show in 2019. And it's actually a very well organized, great show in Romania.
Is it?
Really?
And in those kind of countries, it's sometimes easier to get some general sponsoring, you know, even from, you know, we had, for our show in Switzerland, we had Porsche the first year being a sponsor, where here you totally rely on supplement companies and fitness, you know, from the fitness industry. So in that regard, they can probably finance it over there.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then,
Now, when is that show?
End of August.
End of
Okay.
August? Yeah. I
So
think
it's,
it's
yeah, still 8 months away. Oh, 6 months away.
I'll be curious to see how that went, man.
Now,
You know
do you
what's
know of
fun?
anybody who's any of the guys right now around that age that are planning on entering?
I don't know anybody. Oh, Vince Galanti's the only one I know.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so here's one of the things that was being thrown around even at the Arnold was the prize money was not enough because and they were saying some of these guys were saying, hey, why would a guy at his age want to risk his health?
Right.
Because obviously they're gonna use some high performance juice. Why would they want to risk themselves for such a small amount of money? Because
How much was the money, Mike? Do you know?
I don't know what the final. I think it was 250,000 was the total prize money. I don't know.
There's
what
7
it was.
categories.
That's,
I don't know, and there's so many categories. You know, even if the first place guy gets 60, 70,000, that's not a lot of money.
No, no.
It's not even that much.
No, it
It's
really
not. It's not worth good.
No, guys.
No,
isn't.
because-
You know what? It probably won't be that much.
I was just
And
saying,
it's not worth it for us older pros to come back, but I think people more interested in this are people which are never stopped competing and just turned 45 in the last 1 or 2 years.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the only way. And plus, you know, they're doing it, and you have to apply for it like, you know, anything else. And they're going to announce the competitors at the end of April.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mike, there's almost one more chance, buddy. Let's give one last hurrah, man.
I would just love to get in. I'll say it'd be fun to see it.
I know, right? I would love to see it, man. I would love to see it.
I love the sport so much that
Yeah, no doubt.
it'd be great to see it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it would be that.
Yeah. Well,
All right, guys.
yeah, I think we've pretty much hit all the main highlights.
Hey, Mike, let me ask you, what city are you in Florida?
I actually live in Fort Lauderdale, but my
Oh.
business is in Deerfield Beach, so they're very close.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
right by each other.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, Fort Lauderdale.
Where are you now?
I'm in Ventura, California.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'll be a lot closer to the Olympia this year, Mike.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that'll be good, Mike. It'll be good to see it because the Olympia's in my backyard, man.
All right.
Yeah.
10 minutes from where I live.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, that is your
Imagine that.
backyard.
Can't
Wow.
get any better than that.
Uh-oh.
Well, 15 with traffic.
Yeah.
Anybody come and let me know, man. I'll come and check my place out.
All
Well,
right.
I'll let you know.
Yeah, come on.
I give it some thought, definitely.
Well, I want to say one thing before I go. I want to thank you for inviting me this evening. It's actually, I didn't know who was going to be participating. You know, you reached out to me. I said, yeah.
I know, I surprised
it
you.
happen. But it's, for me, it's not only having the opportunity to share, but also to be in the presence of these great pros from the past. And, you know, it's like a little reunion mixed in with giving feedback. And for me, it was a pleasure just being here and interacting with them all. All of you.
Mike,
Yeah.
awesome to
Thanks,
see
Mike.
you, buddy.
Yeah,
I'm
thank
glad I got to talk to you, bro. It's been a long time, man.
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
it's always been a
Definitely a
big fan.
pleasure.
Always been a big fan of yours, Mike. Thanks again for coming on.
Yes, sir.
always my pleasure. Yeah.
Well,
I'll see
we'll
you
Mike,
in 5
take
years.
care, brother.
For the next one.
yeah, definitely have to do it again for sure.
All right, guys. Been a good
All right,
one.
guys.
All right. It's been a pleasure. Have a great evening.
All right,
Bye,
guys,
Mike.
have a good night.